We're going live. We're going live. We're going live. Hey, did we go live yet? Hey, don't tell anybody, but we're live right now. Nice. So everything should be done by Monday, dude, as far as paperwork and stuff. So the next week I need to start really hammering down. But I got so much sick leave and vacation built up, so I might take a week or two off. I'm just going to sell those. I'm never going to use them. Those are the bandaging point. I'm going to grab my chew, and we're good to go. I got my chew in my pocket.
And you're good to go.
Yeah, good to go. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Hey, Emma, you good? I love you, baby. If you need anything, just come in, okay? Okay. All right. I don't know what they can see or what they can't see.
What are we talking about tonight, Dan?
We'll get into that in a minute. This stuff.
A little something, something?
The do's, the don'ts, why you'd want to go there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll get into this stuff to finish it up with for Roy. So, yeah. That reminds me, where are my glasses? All right. Little R1 works there. This car's actually going to go JPH here in a little while and get rid of this RCRI chassis. I think the JPH chassis will... JPH, for people that don't know, is Jake's Performance Hobbies, Roanoke Park, California. My local hobby shop. And I think he's got a great design for his chassis. So this car is going to get switched out. But this car rolls out. This is my car that I run when it's full no prep and I can't sticky up the Corleone tires. And then we got Emma's car here, the green machine we call Funky Monkey, sporting the DE Outlaws. I should probably put that drawer back down so you don't... Yeah, can you imagine if that spills on the floor?
I did that actually.
There's 5,000 screws in there.
I had a full tray. It was probably a 6x9 tray. And it fell.
And all your imperial and metric mixes.
I kicked it off of the toolbox with my elbow.
You're all no.
Dude. All everywhere, dude. I was on my hands and knees picking them up forever.
Going live in 5, 4, 3. All right, let's do it. Bring it up. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, up there in Facebook land to episode number 13 of Shark Frenzy, here with Daniel Judd at Judd's RC Motorsports. Tonight we got two things to go over. We're going to be converting Emma's car over to a longer bar, to a JPH, or Jake's Performance Hobbies bar. We're going to show you some do's and don'ts while you're putting your bar together. And we're going to go over and discuss why you'd want to do that. And I can't watch your phone, huh? Because it's broken.
Oh, yes you can. I
got a new one?
I got a new phone.
All right. Look at that. Ooh. Ah. Do's and don'ts, why you'd want to go to the longer bar, why do you want to choose a Jake's Performance Hobbies bar. There's a lot of nice bars out there, guys. There's a lot of manufacturers. If you have a local hobby shop that makes one, or a buddy that's been making them and you want to go with that, but that's cool. You know, you guys can run whatever you want. This is just going over my local hobby shop's carbon fiber bar. Why I choose that, other than, you know, supporting my local hobby shop. But why I believe that Jake Rosen of Jake's Performance Hobbies has the, to me, in my personal opinion, for anybody that wants to argue out there, that I said something that, my personal opinion is that Jake's bar is just the bee's knees right now. I know Mark Vine's going to have a killer bar coming out, but they've been just so pounded with getting chassis. They're like, oh, I think what they're doing is they're like, okay, let's make 40 or 50 of them. And they make that, and they're like, okay, that should be good. Let's go to the other thing. And then they sell out in 3 minutes, which is a double-edged sword, which we've been doing at Shark and stuff for a long time, and It's a double-edged sword. And then you're halfway through, making and producing the other thing that you need, which is either going from TLR to AE chassis, or going from TLR or AE bulkheads to or whatever it is, when people want something, they want something, and the orders don't stop.
I tell you what,
which is a good thing for them. Congratulations to Bob and Mark Vine on the success of the bullet. I love my bullet, the Corleone. I run it. It's sitting in I put it on my dresser next to my bed and my 9mm at night. So.
It's that way with everything I go to get. It's like everything's sold out all the time.
It is, and we'll discuss
the only way I got the bullet chassis was I got it directly from Bob Vine at the Vegas race.
You got it from Bob?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, he handed it to me personally.
Yeah, good.
That's,
Bob.
That's the only way I got mine.
And I had dealt with Mark for a bunch on the phone, and him helping me before Vegas, and we did some video chatting and stuff. But I had never met his brother, and I don't even know if his brother's even got a Facebook page. I can't ever seem to find him. But I try to, because the little bit of time I did spend with Bob Vine out in Vegas, people don't come better than that, dude. They're just really good dudes.
Yeah,
so
totally.
Anyway, welcome to episode number 13, guys. So let's dive right into this. So this is Emma's car right here. Can you see, what can you see on the screen? Me and this? See, that's why in the new studio, just like Bill Shaw, I'm going to get that second TV in there that's also a computer screen, and we'll put it up there, linked to the camera, so we can see what we're actually shooting while we're shooting it. I think that's a really kind of a no-brainer. So this is Emma's car. It's got an Extreme chassis that was donated by Rocky Carlson up in Washington. These guys, PNW. Yeah, I got a mess in here, guys. I'm right in the middle of moving, so I'm trying to keep the shows going. I really, I know I've been saying this for a while. I thought,
hey Dan, where's that one body at that I was talking?
I don't know.
Good luck.
A couple things. I was waiting to start the new show when we got into a new house, and it's just the real estate market is so crazy. I think I'm going to finally, after a year and a half of looking, I think we closed escrow last Monday. I think I'll be moving in next week. So, this is what, here, pan over here. This is what half of my garage looks like right now. It's a trailer full of dump. So, there's just nothing left in here. All my RC equipment's all put in boxes. I just got the straggler stuff and some old vintage cars and stuff left. And I'm sitting in an area that's about 8 feet by 6 feet. So, before we get into any of this, let me give my shout outs. I want to give my biggest shout out to Paul Peterson, company owner of Shark RC Bodies. Also a very, very close friend, one of my best friends. Shark RC Bodies. I think it's
looking for something.
Only one visible in here.
Hey, Daddy.
There's another one, yeah.
Can I be done?
Oh,
Looking
heck
for
no. You
something
gotta eat
right
half
here.
more of that potato and all your shrimp.
Maybe potato and ramen.
Oh, great, because I ate it all. So eat your shrimp, though. I bought you big old expensive prawns. You eat them. Okay, anyway. So Paul Peterson, sharkrcbodies.com. Shark RC Bodies Facebook page. Get out there if you're just getting into the sport. We run Shark Bodies. We love our Shark Bodies. You can go over to Shark Bodies Facebook page. He's got a huge gallery to look from all the different drag bodies. They're hopefully in the near future here. Paul's probably gonna get mad at me when I say this, but there'll be more to look at on there. But anyway, real soon some cool stuff happening with Shark. I want to give a huge shout out to Steve Villanueva of R1 Products, R1 speed controls, batteries, motors, and very, very soon coming to a hobby near you, some stuff that's going to be cutting edge. So I want to give a huge shout out to Dave Enstrom and Chris Fiera at DE Racing Tires and Rims. It's all I run on my cars. I'm glad I made the switch. I have been having really good luck with these tires. So Emma, what kind of tires do we run?
DE tires.
That's right, DE tires, baby. I want to give a huge shout out to just everybody. Also, a new guy that I'm going to be promoting for. We're going to get to that. That's the second half of the show, and that is going to be Papa Bear 3D. So we'll get to that here in a little while after we do what we're going to do to Emma's car. So let's just give the biggest shout out as well to Jake Rosen and the boys down at Jake's Performance Hobbies. You can reach them Tuesday through Saturday at 707-586-3375. They ship to the lower 48. And he's got everything you need for all your RC needs. Your drag racing, first and foremost. The boats, the planes, helicopters, a glider. I mean, if they had a freaking remote control, flying, walking, talking toaster, Jake would have 12 of them in the shop. So, yeah, get a hold of Jake and the boys. And we're actually going to be showing off and showcasing in the tech video tonight one of Jake's products that he actually makes in-house. It's actually a Jake's Performance Hobbies bar. So it's up to Hunter and Tim, and I forget the newer kids that are working there. My close friend Matt Kidd, Mark and Bob Vine. A huge shout out to Billy Shaw and Desert Hobbies. If you haven't checked them out, guys, get over to Desert Hobbies YouTube page, as well as Funky Monkey Judd. That's where you're going to find all the videos, all the information. I've had a swarm, another wave of new people in the last 2 weeks get into the hobby. Yes. Okay. And with that swarm, there's guys asking simple questions that I made a video on, so I'm trying to direct them back to YouTube. Again, we have just under like 1,797 followers on Facebook and only 367 on YouTube. So please, guys, take 30 seconds out of your time, go over to YouTube, type in Funky Monkey Judd, and subscribe, and that's where you find all the tech videos. A lot of cool stuff coming, dude. Cutting edge. I'm just like at the ship's helm with it all, and it's just really exciting. And I've been, throwing little hints for the last month or two about a couple different companies that I represent and some new stuff that's coming to market that isn't little stuff like it's a new little 3D printed shock mount or something like that. It's big stuff, and I'm really, really excited, and I just cannot for the life of me say anything yet. So, we tap on this. Everybody in the sport, what's up? If I didn't name you, I love everybody. All the guys down in Southern California, Arizona, Oklahoma, all my Shark team, Jasmine Hernandez and Jesse Hernandez, my co-host and my helper here, my very close friend Rich Lavac, and all the guys up in Lake and Mendocino, and all the guys in 707, and just everybody. What's up? I want to give a huge shout out to everybody. I like to do the shout outs. But let's get into it. So, Emma, whose car is this?
Mine. Look.
What color did you insist on Daddy making everything?
Green.
Green. And what's the name of this car?
I got a name.
No, you named it.
I got a name.
Funky Monkey.
Oh, Funky Monkey.
This is your Funky Monkey car. So, I liked Grumpy.
I got a name.
Why? What?
You already know the name.
Oh, yeah, let's not even go there. I want to. I really want to. I want to walk hand in hand down the beach with you in
This
that.
is,
But
this is PG, right?
This is PG. So, what we have here is two different slashed or traxxas-based vehicles, okay? They're very, very similar. They have different chassis. They're different colors. So if you can put some of the different colors and stuff out of your mind, they are the same transmission and the same axles and the same rear arms and the same outer hubs and the same front arms. And it's just, they're very, very similar in design. So for the newer guys that really, can't just recognize a car right off the bat yet, these cars are very, very similar. I mean, there's two different chassis from two different companies, and this was bought, while I was putting it together for Emma. It's put together with RPM arms that are green, and these are the same arms on this car, but they're blue. So, if you flip them over here, you can see a lot of the similarities. So the front bumper and the A-arms and just everything's kind of the same on the cars, and they work very, very well. This is my new rear motor car, the Patriot. I've been doing a little testing. I did one rip with it in San Leandro, and it was fast. I made some adjustments. It's even faster now. It's got the new R130 in it, and it gets down. So whenever I go to a race, it's got, if I'm going to something like Vegas or San Leandro where they're allowing prep, I'm going to run the Corleone. It's a fast car. It's running the 70s, low 70s, and it just works really good. This car, if I go to a no prep race, this is my no prep killer. This car is just it's just so fast that it's gonna be fun to see what I can do in the next little while with this car. This is Emma's car. A lot of parts that were bought at Jake's Performance Hobbies. If you go back 2 or 3 episodes, you can actually watch us assemble one of these cars on an assembly, or on an episode. I can't remember exactly what I put it. Traxxas build or something like that. I think it's episode 10 or something. Yeah.
The whole 3 hours.
Yeah, it's the one that's 3 hours. So what's the number one thing that just stands out in your mind when you look at all of this, Rich?
Longer wheelie bar, bigger wheelie bar. Wheelie bar.
So can you see that in the? Let me align the axles here, so you can see on my right is going to be the shorter bar on Emma's car, and that's an RCRI, I think 12-inch. 10-inch? 10-inch.
10-inch.
And on my left here, we have one of Jake's Performance Hobbies, JPH carbon fiber bar. That is a 12-inch bar with the added length between where the bar ends and the center line of the axle, where the measurement for the rules is taken, meets the requirement. So what I want to do is, this is the last car I have in my stable out of all my cars right now that I want to get a longer bar on. I think it's going to be very beneficial to my daughter to have that longer bar to soften the hit a little bit so it's not so jolty. And that's what we're going to do tonight. This bar is every bit as rigid as a, what are some of the good bar companies out there? You got RCRI, you got Vanishing Point, Troy Stacy, I believe is his name. He makes great products over there. The first and foremost reason why I choose these bars is because out of all the things I want in a bar, it has the added bonus of being from my local hobby shop. So that's a huge no-brainer for me. But other than that, I like the way there are some bars out there that maybe some guys use and they work good, and I don't like the design of them. It's just not for me. It's just my personal preference. So I like the way they look.
Well, I like the way they work. I like the way they all look. It's just some work better than others for your application. So. Totally.
So the one thing we're not going to do is we're not going to put the big wheels on her car just yet. Mainly since I just haven't gotten around to getting any for his car. But so we're going to be putting the traxxas ones back on. So we'll put the Patriot over here. And let's start taking the bar off. Now, if you look really closely in here, if you zoom in, on the bottom I always have something that, has a bigger head to it. Because when that's tightened down, that's the hinge. But that needs to be tight, as well as the top one. Well, the top one, I have my triangle. Everybody by now knows what my triangulation bars are. And I have the screw going through that first, and then in between that ball that's on the tie rod and the actual tightening surface or surface of the outside of the wheelie bar, I have a flat washer. And the reason why I do that is because wherever I move this in adjustment and then tighten it at, it can always be susceptible if I hit hard on the bar or the car gets in a wreck or something to actually move. So the little pinpoint footprint at which I would tighten down the screw and just the tie rod would hit the bar isn't really giving me the laid out pressure, of the washer. The washer actually spreads the load of the tightening of the screw, and thus holding the wheelie bar under a hard hit in place better. So I'll show you what I mean here. Let me take this one bar out. And you know, these triangulation bars don't just make the rear end of a slash like 10 times stronger, but they also act an adjustment. I've had cars where, you know, something was off in the bar and I didn't have time to take the bar off and go through the bar and stuff. And I look down the bottom of the chassis and the bar looks like it's slightly off. Well, you can actually use this as a little bit of an adjustment. You don't have much. I wouldn't use it too much adjustment. You know, if your bar's way off one way and it's like, wow, that bar's way off.
Since something's off. Something else
yeah, then you
off.
have something to work on. But if the bar just looks like it's slightly off, you can, you know, if it was going over towards me, I could either lengthen this bar or tighten this bar and just straighten it out just a little bit. But I would only use that feature on the triangulation bars in a circumstance where you have not much straightening to do. So I'm going to pull the screw out, okay? And as you can see, behind the screw, I have a washer. There's an aluminum washer there. What that's doing is it's spreading the load over the slot rather than just having this surface tighten down and clamp onto the bar side. I have that surface, which is much bigger. And I actually got this really tight because it is coned out like a son of a gun. So let's go ahead and take the rest of this bar off. And I have so many cars with so many parts. We're actually going to assemble this car with these parts, these centers, because I just bought a set of plates to move it all out longer. Let's see if there's any questions while I'm doing this. Now remember, whatever screws you use on the bottom, like this one here, they're going to be longer on the top if you're using the triangulation bars. And the reason why that is because I got all this extra tie rod to go through. I'm not just going through the wheelie bar into the threads. I'm going through the wheelie bar, the washer, the tie rod, and thus it needs a longer screw. So there's her car with no bar on it. And this is the RCRI, I believe 10-inch. It's a great bar. But I believe that there are things like the new JPH bar that has surpassed this in progression of drag racing. So, wow, this is pretty janky feeling bearings.
Will Shepard asks, what's better for no prep, rear motor or mid motor?
That's a hard one. That's a hard one. I personally, maybe there's guys out there doing it. I personally, unless I'm prepping the tires, I can't run the Corleone just runs. It's a prep car, you know? And like when I went up to Lake County, I don't know, was it 3 or 4 weeks ago, whatever, with you, they're not running anything on the ground. Nope. And you're not allowed to put anything that's super sticky on your tires. That's, you know, straight. And I totally respect the hell, first and foremost, of true no prep, because that's my roots. That's where I came from. I truly believe that the reason why no prep isn't going to get much faster than it is right now, or it was 6 months ago or a year ago, is because at some point when you're putting that kind of power down, no matter how hard you think you're hooking, it is a controlled spin. Yep. You're not going to dead hook like you would with a prep tire. And I think that that's what's given that prepped car an extra 5 to 10 or whatever miles an hour over the no prep cars, is because they're dead hooking and they're using more of that power to not spin, but to move propel the car forward. I think I kind of answered that.
Yeah.
Maybe? Okay.
Well, maybe yes and no.
What's your take on that, Rich?
My take is whatever you can make work. I mean, there's people out there making mid motors go no prep. There's people out there making rear motors go prep. So
yeah,
it's like my rear motor car. It's a LCG chassis, and I can prep the hell out of it, or I can run it no prep. I could do it either way. So it's all whatever you can get the car to do. Still don't think we answered it.
Read the question again.
We have no idea. What's better, rear or mid motor for no prep?
I personally, for no prep, like true no prep, nothing on the tire. You can condition the tires, get them hot, but nothing on the tires. I'm gonna take my rear motor car.
All day long.
That's just. I'm not saying that. So for again, anybody who wants to argue out there, I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm just saying, for my personal opinion, that you know, my mid-motor car, my Corleone, my Bullet car, that's my prep surface car. Yeah. And that's why I always jump right down to San Leandro, because it's, you know, the closest place to me that's running prep that I can go down and...
Roy Offenbacher in the house.
What's up, Roy? We'll get to your stuff here in a little while. Yeah, kind of exciting to show some of the stuff that's going to be showcased tonight. So, just to keep you guys on your toes here, Roy runs a 3D business, and he makes, I don't know if you can see this very well, this is one of his blowers, and I got so many products to show you guys. This is some of his stands. These go for $40, or not stands, but setup boards. So I would bolt these, each one of these, I call them tombstones, on each wheel, and then I could take more accurate measurements of what my suspension's doing. Then you have a built-in, just kind of a quick reference camber gauge, which is kind of cool, that's built in. And I mean, just all kinds of cool products. Here's a nice little pit board that's all 3D printed that I'll use for like shocks or whatever when I got O-rings out or I'm looking and inspecting stuff. He's also started making the body nuts in different colors, which is awesome. So they very, very closely resemble just a stock body nut, like on one of these cars, but these are colored. So if you want your body nut, you use body nuts, and they want them in a certain color, you can contact Roy Offenbacher at Papa Bear 3D on Facebook. But we'll get to that. We got
lots more to show.
We got lots more to show. So, as you can see on the back of this car is not shocked. This car is a solid bar car, is what I call it. And this is a 12-inch Jake's Performance Hobbies carbon fiber bar. And this bar will come with everything you see here, but not these wheels. What you will get with the bar is these traxxas wheels. And you can either glue tires to these, or you can change them out to the metal traxxas ones. Or I'm sure for, you know, 20 or 25 bucks or whatever they cost extra, Jake can throw those in the box if you're ordering them. But this is there's two bars that Jake offers. Jake offers not only a couple different lengths, but he also offers this bar in either solid or shocked. This bar here is a solid bar, and it works very well in this car. And I know the shocked bars are what, $49.99?
I don't know. I haven't priced it, but I think
I don't know what I should have asked him that. Dang it! If Tim or Hunter or anybody's watching, chime in really quick with what these bars are going for. Just seemed like it was better. Okay, so anyway, this is what the side plates look like to the solid bar. Okay, this is Jake's new NPRC compliant carbon fiber ball bearing action shocked bar. Okay. And these are badass. Now when you purchase this from Jake, you're gonna get these two plates, the bearings, all the hardware in the center of the bar, a set of those wheels, plus you're gonna get, this is his first model here is a monoshock. So it has in between, as you'll have these guys here, I call them standoffs in the middle, your 60 mil standoffs. There's one that will be broken up into two pieces, and your shock will mount in the center, and then there's another bracket that goes onto the slash-based vehicles off the transmission that holds the head of the shock, and that's how his setup is designed in their assembly. So what you're going to get is just everything. I mean, just like some of the other bar companies out there, you're getting the plates, you're getting the hardware, you're getting the wheels, you're also getting the mono bar. So, or with the shock, with the traxxas shock. And the shock is, you know, all complete. You don't need anything for the shock. It comes with the spring and everything like that. So, I don't know. Yeah, so, anyway, we're actually, Emma. No, baby. We're actually not going to put on a shocked bar onto Emma's. These I actually have for the Corleone. I have one of these that has the upper corner cut off, and just this bottom link is bolted to my car on the Corleone, because I've turned one of these solid bar sided ones into a shocked bar before he had these. So we're actually not going to be assembling this tonight. We're going to be assembling this one. I believe I have more of these. I don't know. We'll have to buy some more. So, here's what Emma had on her car, and here's what Emma's going to have on her car now. This is a much longer bar. It's a much more rigid bar. It's just an all-around, I think, a better bar. So, this is what I want to get on. You know, when I put this car together for my daughter, you know, you might think first that, oh, well, she's probably going to get hit in a curb a couple times, or she's going to roll the car, so we'll put a cheap $15 traxxas servo in it. Or I think we put a Spectrum in it or something like that.
It was a Spectrum.
And we couldn't figure out why the car wouldn't work. What happened was I would turn the wheel one way and let go, and a normal car does what, Rich? It returns to center. Well, this thing was passing center, going left, and then coming back. And it was just, I don't know if I got a bad servo or what, but I didn't think of the other side of the spectrum of where if I put good equipment in the car and it works properly and it's precise, that that'll be easier for her to drive, it'll be easier for her to learn, and she'll do better with the car. And the last weekend that we raced it, after making those decisions and putting a $100 servo in it and beefing it up a little bit for her, she went out and she had the outcome she did that day.
Yeah.
So
good race. Yeah, she did good that day.
she did. So we're going to put these aside, and we are going to grab, I think I have some hardware in here. Do me a favor. In that screw drawer that's open, can you hand me that?
The drawer?
The one that's sitting there under the blue thing?
You want the whole drawer?
The whole drawer. And nothing but the drawer, so help me God.
I can't see who asked it, but what's the advantage of a shock bar?
Well, so when you have a solid bar, okay, let me explain this real quick. When you have a solid bar, I always tell people when you put the car together and you get it to start going straight with your suspension, always start with your bar. When you go to the bar adjustment, always start with it high. Let the car wheelie and then slowly move it down in increments, doing a pass at a time, always monitoring heat. You don't want to, do, oh, you told me to do passes until the bar was good and you did 10 and you blew your motor up. I don't want to be responsible for that. So always monitor heat, guys. But you start it high, you let the car wheelie. And the reason why is if you started it down and it was too far down, it actually lifts the rear end up and it robs you of all your traction. And you don't want to lose traction. You don't want to tune the car to having no traction, obviously. So always start tuning with your bar up and slowly move it down in increments to where your front wheels just touch the ground and you regain steering under acceleration. So with a shocked bar, now in that adjustment, right when you get it perfectly, there's a fine window at which if you go a little too high, the car will wheelie, and if you go just a little bit too low, it does nothing but spin tire.
It unloads the rear suspension.
The first and foremost thing about the shock bar that makes it better is the fact that it's still going to keep the front end down once it's adjusted properly to the proper height and stuff that you want to make the car work. But how could I explain this? That window is bigger, okay? Because the bar does fold up. So if the bar folds up, you're still under traction. When you have your bar too low with a solid car, there's no change in that. It's solid. So the traction you have is the traction you have. So the one good thing about having the bar low is it keeps the front end down. So now I can have the bar a little bit lower than I normally would run to keep the front end down on the car at high speeds, or under heavy acceleration, I should say. And on the hit, it won't be robbed of traction because the bar will fold up a little bit. And then what does that shock do? That shock sets the front end back down. So now you got maximum traction, you got a bigger window of adjustment, the front wheels are back on the ground, and you're rolling like a freight train. So I hope that explains that. That was Chris Vieira. Chris Vieira is, comes to DE Racing. Him and Dave are my bosses. So hi, Chris. Love you, Chris. No, Chris is a great guy. Everybody at DE, just like all the companies I'm associated with. The reason why I needed this was because I didn't notice that when she raced. So when she raced 2 weeks ago and beat the ghost down in San Leandro. She was using, I think it's a 5.5 Fleta motor with a 12 millimeter rotor, an XR10 Pro, and she's got 2 bad bearings in her wheelie bar wheels, and she's missing 2 screws in the wheelie bar.
Okay.
So some of those standoffs were just kind of sitting in there.
Yeah, you weren't even holding.
I was wondering why when I tweaked the bar it wouldn't stay like that.
Yeah, right.
So here, let's put that back over there. We don't need that.
A flat single bar. Ask Cody Offenbecker about that
Yeah,
one.
I would ask
He can run that.
You guys. I'm not sold on the mono wheels. I'm really not. I'm not going to say it's a bad design or they don't work because people make them work. But it's the same reason why Honda or the government or whoever it was stopped producing 3-wheelers back in the 80s. It's the same reason why when you pick up a wheelbarrow, you have to constantly balance it, because if you don't, you just hold on to one side, what's going to happen? It's going to dump over to that side. So, if I'm looking for stability, I want 2 hands going down holding the car up. I'm looking for 2 wheels doing that. So, my hat's off to the guys that make the mono wheels work. As far as what I think of them, I really can't answer that. I want to be truthful.
I have never used one.
Because I've never used one. So, I'm basing off of never even having used one, off of just basic geometries and mathematics. And I do believe that a 2-bar or a 2-wheel bar is the way to go.
If you're a good tuner as far as your suspension, and you can get your suspension dialed in, then you can make a single wheel work really good. I see guys make them cars really fast with them. So
I don't know what's going on with that. So what I like to do is I like to get
3 hours later.
I like to get one whole side of the bar. I don't know why. I think that was one left over from the impact sheet. Oh no, it was for me. When I ripped that bar a new one like 9 times. I will say that bar was tough. I'm going to show you guys a trick too here in a minute when I get to putting the back end of this apart. That will make the bar a lot stronger that I don't see a lot of guys catching on to. So I'm going to add an extra bar. If you want extra standoffs or 60 millimeter bars, I'm sure Jake will. I always keep some, so if you're at a race and you bend one, let me know. I got plenty on hand. I don't know, what does Jake give me? So Jake probably gives you more.
You know how many texts you're going to get now?
Yeah, that's okay. You just add to the fun, right? So the metric screws in that drawer, I need 2 more of those. So you see the first long column with all the screws in it? That's Imperial, that's all American. But the third one over, yes, that is all metric. So Emma's old bar had 4 standoffs, and I see a lot of guys assemble these like this, right? And then they'll have their wheel back here with nothing in between. And what happens is if you ever twist that car sideways and smack something with the bar, you're gonna, with this open and nothing in between, your wheel just bolted to the end of the bar like that, it's going to actually snap the end off of the bar, okay? So one way that you can make it a hell of a lot more rigid is I'm actually going to take her wheelie bar wheel and not use the nut. And I'm going to...
One slightly longer, but it will work. More grip.
So instead of using the nut, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run one of my metric 60 millimeter standoffs in between the 2 wheels and let the standoff be the nut so that there's more rigidity and I don't have an ear out there that's susceptible in a sideways collision to snap off. I've seen a lot of people snap the bars and then the other side of the bar is still all together and there's no standoff there. I'm like, well, that's why I broke. So, I would rather even be missing one somewhere else and have one there if you only have a couple standoffs. And you go, well, dude,
I've robbed it from other
1, 2,
places.
3, 4 standoff holes in my bar and I only have 4 standoffs. You know, I need a fifth one for that. Well, either get a hold of one or take one out strategically from somewhere else and always use it between the... Oh, these bearings are done, I think, dude.
It'll save your bar for sure.
It will definitely save the bar. I have to say 8 times out of 10. In a sideways impact that would break a bar without a standoff between the wheels, the standoff will actually save it. So, no, my bearing's on its way out, but it's what we're gonna use, homie. So what I'm gonna do here first, I have all my standoffs in. I'm gonna give these just a little snug up, okay? And this one, I'm just gonna go ahead. She's pretty good on there. Okay, so I'm gonna get that far, and then I'm gonna put this side on. But I'm not gonna tighten it yet. I'm just gonna start all the screws. I'll show you why here in a second. Whoop. Just kind of bring it down until it touches and then back it out a little bit. And once you have the bar all the way together with one side snug and the other side loose, then I'm going to grab something that I know is flat, which I usually use my slab over there to do. You know, we can do that. You can just turn the camera. Okay, so hold on, let me start the wheel in here. Oh, my DE gear over there.
Oh yeah.
I love DE stuff, dude. We've been out of Street Outlaws. I've been trying to get some more for the last couple days, and I think they're making them just as fast as they can, but demand is just so high right now. Even that wheelie bar. So what did I do? I took all my standoffs, including the one between the wheel. I tightened that one down good, okay? I have these all snugged up. They're not super tight. You won't be able to get it super tight until you tighten the other side against it and have to go back. Reason being that you're only going to get this so tight, and it's going to start spinning the standoff. Hold on a second. Hey, Emma? Emma? You got to turn that down, baby. Thank you. Okay, but then I put the other side on, and including all the screws together are brought in to touch and then backed off a half a turn, including the wheel, okay? And the reason why is I want that whole plate still to be able to shift around, and I'll show you why. Oh, that's not the right one. Okay, so the wheel's tight. I'm just going to back it out a little bit. Yeah, that thing's a little bent. Maybe it's the tire from sliding sideways. Okay, so, hold on a sec. Let me take a quick sip of gingy. This is an important part to do, and sometimes I'll do this if I'm in any kind of collision. So what do I have here, Rich?
A flat surface.
But we know it's really flat because it's a milled down, piece of a slab of granite. So the reason why is obviously you don't want to put it on there like that because the bar's off the granite or the flat surface, I'll just say, because you're probably not using a thing of granite. And this is also a really good trick to make sure that the car is perfectly neutral when you're putting a brand new car together for a lot of the new guys. So this whole side of the bar is loose still. The screws are in, they're all the way in, and then I backed them out in half a turn. All this side, all the hardware is tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it, look, you see that? Come down here and show them that. This is a perfect example. You want to make sure this thing is 100% symmetrical. Do you see that gap under that side right there? That means there's a twist in the bar. And if you were just to tighten that in place, that thing is going to always, give you some kind of problem, and you're not going to be able to figure out where the heck the problem is. So this side is touching, the other two sides are touching, and this side is not. So that tells me that this side of the wheelie bar is in a tweak. It's up, it's twisted. So let's see if we can give it a little bit of a twist down. Let's see if I can tighten it in place. Watch this be the one bar. Something else is messed up. So I'm going to give these a little twist into place as I'm holding it down firmly to the flat surface with the wheels hanging off, so that all four corners, or the whole rail in this almost, is touching. This has a different size to it. I think this axle is bent. Now, let's see what's going on here. See that little bit? So, we're going to back all these out again. Okay, for the first time, look. Oh, that one's still got a little twist in it. Hold on. See, I'm not getting any movement out of it. It's not going down. The whole thing is completely symmetrical. These two rails are perfectly aligned. And that's what you want, a perfectly aligned bar. Now the whole trick is I have to tighten them up. And you might have to do this 2 or 3 times to get the bar. And after every 2 or 3 runs, I nut and bolt my bar. What is nut and bolt in the race car world, Rich?
You have to check all your stuff. You have to go through your whole car. Do it every pass. It's really quick, really simple. Touch your driver on everything that you can touch it on. Make sure everything's tight so it doesn't move.
That bar's perfect. Let's go back and give a final tighten.
And most of all, always check those screws because they always loosen up.
The ones on the wheels?
Yep.
Yeah. This one I'm going to have to do this way. Now I can go back and get that last little cinch that I couldn't get when I first put them together. Boom, and we got a nice bar. I don't know, yeah, see, I don't know if that's the... And if you have to twist them to align it, I see something's going on here now. Unless one of these is bent still, and I haven't found it.
Might have a bent standoff.
Yeah, I think it's this one here. I can almost guarantee it is. Okay, so let's ditch. We're going to actually... Now, granted, this isn't something you're going to find with a brand new bar, guys. These in no way, shape, or form reflect. I'm using a Jake or any other company saying that they have, stuff that's bad in the package. You got to remember, I only used, to show you the whole JPH bar, I only used just the side plates using old hardware that had been in a collision prior. So, look at the end of that, how it's all fluted. So let's grab another one.
Yeah, that one's no good.
That one's Dunsky. So I don't want anybody that's just tuning in to go, well, wait a minute, this bar he's pushing, he just opened it out of the package and it's already got bent parts. No, that's not what happened. I ran the parts I already had into the curb, doing 60 plus in Lake County.
Wow, that's the difference between a race car and a store-bought show car.
That's right. And like I said, guys, this right here isn't necessarily going to make your car faster, but it will, because if this takes a 1/10 of a second, something else does it, and all those little tiny, thousandths of an inch or tenths of a second add up, next thing you know, see, now it wants to lay flat.
Next thing you know, you're searching for that 100th.
And there, it's a nice flat bar. Now let's go assemble this onto her car. Ooh. He's got a new JPH bar now. Okay. What's up, Corey Graham? Corey Graham is makes the Graham bands for the tires that I'm going to be trying out. Chris Vieira just brought up a good point. What happens when you pick the car up by the bar? It's one thing to hold on to the car right here when you're doing a burnout, okay? But don't ever just grab your car back here. You guys, this adjustment, if you want a car that has a bar and it's perfectly tuned to the bar staying perfectly level, well, you picking it up and doing this with it up at the driver's stand, Chris is absolutely right. That can alter, that can put a little tweak in it when you don't want it or to. Or let's say you have your car just perfect and it slightly wants to go to the right every time, and you try and get that little bit of adjustment out of it by just giving it a little bar tweak, like some of my old lessons that I've taught, and just straighten the car out that last little bit. Well, that little bit of tweak that you're using, or on a car like my Corleone that likes a nice flat bar, a nice neutral bar, that has to stay like that or the car's not going to be consistent. So be careful how you pick up these cars. You know what I'm saying? They might look like big old tough car. Oh, they're not going to hurt nothing, man. And if that's what you want to do, and that's, whatever. But if this car's sitting on the ground and there's a body on it and I go to pick it up, I'm not going to pick it up back here. I'm not going to do that to my car because I know that bar is perfect. I'm going to pick it up right here and I will lift it up to a certain point and then I'll put my hand under it and hold the car like this. So be careful. It doesn't take much to tweak these bars funny, and if you're not looking for that, then the car, once you put a little tweak in it, isn't going to work the same as it did the round before. And something like that will absolutely, good point, Chris, that will absolutely ruin a race for you. This car, this is actually the first rear motor car that I have working so good that it has a perfectly neutral shock setting and a perfectly neutral bar. No tweak in the bar, no nothing. It just works. So, but like Emma's car, if you ever see me at a race and you see me with a solid bar car and you notice what's different about those, Rich?
Oh, one has tape on it.
One has tape on it. What does that mean, Dan? Well, that means that when I first started tuning the car in the morning, that side of the bar was the side of the bar that the car wanted to be tweaked to. So it had a slight little drift in it, and I'm talking little. If it's anything more than a slight drift, then you have to go back to the drawing board with your suspension. But if it has a slight little veer to it, you can actually take that neutral bar and grab the back end of it and give it a little tweak to the opposite side that the car's going. So if the car's going left, that means it's hitting the bar down too far on the right. So I would tweak the right side down a little bit so that the right side wheel holds the car up a little bit and keeps it from going left. Same thing, vice versa. If the car's going right, you can give it a little bit of bar tweak down to the left. That's with a solid bar. And if you have anything more, then I'm talking a slight, and you do another pass to see if it's the same, and it's the same thing. But if you have a car that's going like this, then no, you have to go back to the drawing board or get somebody's help with the suspension. So be careful, these things are fragile, and even if it's not broken and you haven't gotten an accident, just by, like Chris mentioned, mishandling the car, you can throw this out of whack, and if you don't know that you did it, you won't know why you lost the race. So that's a really good wow, retreat the bar. I hope that yeah. Well, we'll just keep. You got questions coming up on your screen as well? Let's put this thing on Emma's car. Okay, now here's another thing. I see this is huge, especially for your rear motor guys that have been doing this. If you have a rear motor car and you see somebody with a mid motor car replacing their standoffs with some heavy brass like that, this is not for you. That's not what's happening in your car. That's going to make it wheelie even harder. let's say this is my Corleone and it's mid-motor, okay? Think of it like a teeter-totter, and the rear tire is the axle. So we know the car's going to lift, so the more weight you put on the front of the car all the way forward that you can, and all the way on the back of the car with brass is going to push down on that rear tire and give you more traction. With a rear motor car, you already have plenty enough weight over the rear axle to not need the weight back here. Because what I'm getting with my rear motor cars is there's so much weight in the rear that they wheelie really hard, okay? So what is adding this to a rear motor car going to do in that situation?
Well, you got to add weight to the front.
It's going to make it wheelie even harder.
Yeah, so you got to add more weight to the front, and then you're making your car even heavier.
Exactly.
My rear motor car, I've done that to it and used it for no prep. And I had to add so much weight to it. I weighed out, what did we weigh it out? Like 6.2 pounds.
Yeah, it was just a tank.
It was flying, but it could have go faster if it was a little lighter, sure.
If you have a mid-motor car and you're searching for more traction, you can have a local machine shop or... and the reason why I say that is because I've tried to make these with just really Neanderthal tools, just drill and a hand tap and stuff. And you'll never ever get that hole as centered and as threaded straight as you would as if it's in a lathe and you do all that work and everything works off of centers. And what will happen is if anything has a little bit of offness to it, it's going to put a jog in your sidebar. I mean, by the time, you look at these things and you're like, man, these are just, I can't believe you made these by hand. Then we put the bar together and it showed you how much your eye wasn't seeing. You know what I'm saying? Then I went down to GRL Driveline and we turned these out. Oh, no. We went up to Johnny's house and he let me use his lathe. That was the last set that I made. And when you put these together, you're like, dude, those are just as good as those factory aluminum standoffs. So if I have a mid-motor car and I want to get a little bit more bite, and I have my battery and all my weight forward in the front, I can add a little bit more weight by adding some of these back here, and it'll help it out. I don't believe that it's a good idea to weight a rear motor car's wheelie bar. I don't think that's just not, that's working again. It's working the opposite. Then you have, everything in the back, and that's not what you want. So, because the amount of weight that you'll have to add to the front to get it back to come back down is, like you said, going to be 600 pounds. So let's put this back on. And normally I would suggest using Loctite on these aluminum ones, but the only problem with that is sometimes when you crash, you get, where's the hole? Sometimes when you crash, if you the heads pop off or the screw just pulls out. But if you ever have a bar that's bent and breaks on one side and one of these standoff, these little aluminum standoffs has to be replaced and the other side is Loctited, it's going to be really hard at a track to get that back out unless you have some form of heat to heat it up with. So I would rather nut and bolt my wheelie bar every single round and readjust it every single round rather than Loctite it. If somebody wants to just kind of one and done it, you can try Loctite, but I guarantee you eventually if you hit something with it, it might be hard to, it might cause more of a pain later on just by trying to get it out. So I'm going to drive the bottom screws in first. Okay. And I'm going to just get them a little bit snug and then back them off so that the thing still, that's how free your bars should be. You shouldn't have any movement left or right, and it should be nice and free on the bottom right now, okay? Then we're going to add the adjustment lockdown screws up top. And remember, we're going to put our screw through the tie rod. Then we're going to put a washer on that. And that way the washer is that big flatness of the washer is what's tightening up against the plate. My boss is like, you cut your finger, man. Are you okay? I'm going to say, I'm fine. I put it with some super glue, wrapped with electrical tape, went back to work. I said, but you know what the big deal is? this is my trigger finger, and that's not okay. So again, with the top, I'm just going to bring it in, and I'm going to just snug it and then back it off so it's still loose. Okay.
Mason Silverman's got a question.
Okay, what do we got?
What about when your bar is perfectly tuned and your suspension is good? What else could make the car go left or right?
A lot of things. Weight proportion. I've had a car run perfectly good one day, and then all of a sudden it started going hard left or whatever, and I didn't even notice it till the race was over that I had a blown bead on the front tire. Oh, no, you know what it was? Is I had still won the race before, but at the end under decel or something, I hit something, like a cone really hard or something, and it took that plastic front J Concepts wheel that I was using at the time and bent it. So when you held the car up and spun the front wheel, it's all wah-bah, wah-bah, wah-bah. And I didn't notice it. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot when you're.
Is it up on the bar and the wheels don't touch all the way down the track?
Look, if
and
the
it
bar's
does that, or
if
is
the
it
bar's
on the
good
ground?
and you've nutted and bolted, and the car's still going hard one way, and you're proportioning everything, you can't find anything, and you say your suspension's good, is it? You know, it might need a little wedge.
Double check.
Yeah.
Double check it. Maybe the spring rate's wrong.
I don't care if you've built. Anybody has built 100 million of the same exact RC car. No two cars are going to be alike.
Nope.
So if you are building a car based off of what your buddy is or a setup that you got at somebody at the track and it's exactly like they say, your car's still different. It's a different car. You might have to take that tune or adjustment into consideration and then build on it from there to work for your car. I mean, I was popping these RCRI cars out, you know, left and right. We probably sold 20 or 30 of them. Complete cars, and every single one had its own little temperament,
Yep.
or its, you know,
Demon.
yeah. So, how you doing, Emma? Okay. Do I have a battery up there? I don't.
Yes, rear spring load or fluid. Absolutely.
And then I'm gonna loosen it a little bit. Now this is a horrible table. I would never set the wheelie bar to this. This table is like a big W. But usually what I'm looking for is when you have your body off and your battery and everything in the car and you push it down and let it come back up to where it wants to come up, I want to start with this bar. That's way too high. Well, you can't tell because the table goes down there. So what I'm looking for is I want that bar fully, with everything fully loaded in the chassis sitting under its own weight. I'm looking for that bar to be anywhere from a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch for a solid bar off the ground. Because what's going to happen is it's gonna raise in the front and hit that bar. And like I said, if it's too, you know, that's a really good way. Can you see the whole car here in the picture?
No,
Is that better?
kind of, yeah.
Okay. So when your bar's too high, you have max traction in the rear. And you pull the front wheels off the ground, just like that, okay? But when the bar's too low, you see what it just did? Watch, I'm going to push the car down. Watch when I put the bar down. See how I just lifted the rear end up? You've just taken all the bite out of the rear of that car by having your bar so low. So if up and down, if all the way up and all the way down are two opposite ends of the spectrum, and both are an improper adjustment, I'm going to have to say that I would always start by adjusting a car up. And the reason why is even though I know it's going to wheelie like crazy, the one thing the car has to have
Is bite.
And if I start with it all the way down, that's the one thing that I need to run the car and adjust it that I can't get now until I bring the bar up. So I tell people to start with the bar all the way up, and then you know it's going to wheelie. So then bring it down an 1/8 inch. And remember, an 1/8 inch out here, it is a 1/2 inch over here. It's just like if you look at my arm, and I'm going to move my shoulder an inch, and you see my hand out there moved 4 inches. So the longer something is, the more it's going to move at a small sequential movement at its pivot point. So I hope that makes sense.
It did very well.
I know with this, I've built so many of these cars that I know that if I look from a side profile, this car is going to want a bar that is right about there. So, Emma's car is still going to work the same. It's going to launch a little bit softer. It's going to be a little bit more stable now for her. And I'm obviously, no matter when I run it next, I'm going to have to start the day with a bar adjustment. So I'm just going to kind of lock it down in place. But if you've just done this based on this video and you want to go out and you want to, okay, now I'm done, I want to go out and adjust the bar. Like I said, guys, start with the bar all the way up. So I'm just going to kind of lock her bar down into place. And Bamski, Emma's got even more ghost killing power. She's got the long JPH bar. And this thing is just sweet, dude. I think Rich uses them on all his cars. The JPH bar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got them on all. This is the last car we didn't have it on, was her car. Basically because her car was thrown together with a lot of donated parts, and that was something I had laying around, was this old RCRI bar. So we can actually take this RCRI bar now. If you've seen...
She's going to be 1/10 of a second faster.
Yeah, that's right. This was first run with no standoff in between the wheel screws, and it broke off one day. It snapped that little end off. So I had to drill some holes at the track, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then I replaced it with a standoff in the middle. And the car's been crashed 5 times since then. It hasn't broken. So we'll take these and we'll just put them right there. And I hope that I've, brought a little bit of light to the wheelie bar world. No, you guys, I wouldn't really, don't rely on the triangulation bars between the shock tower and the top bolt on the wheelie bar. I came up with that like 3.5 years ago to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to make the whole assembly stronger. You notice that when I hold this chassis, look, there's no movement. This piece isn't flexing. I'm not running the risk of breaking the transmission case. It is all locked together, and that's the first thing that you want to do. Is make the car strong. Now, if you turn it upside down and you look from the front of the car back, I can catch one of the flat lines down the chassis with my eye and see that this bar is damn near, it's a little tweaked, but it's damn near straight as an arrow with the chassis. If there was like, from this point to this point, if it was off like an 1/8 inch, okay, that little tiny bit, then I could come over here and to put a little preload on the tie rod or whatever and tweak that out of it. But other than that, no, you don't want to be adjusting
for up and down.
For launching or up and down, you don't want to do that with this, because eventually you'll put part of the transmission case under such a load that you'll snap
you
it
put too much of a load on your tower.
Yeah.
And then the case, and you're spreading it apart or drawing it together.
And then you're tuning on a car that's in a bind.
Yeah, and then you're not freed up. You just threw a twist in your car.
Cool. We got some guys talking about some problems they've been having, which is awesome. So, Emma's car, Funky Monkey, is set up just like the Patriot now. She's gonna go fast with it, even faster than she did before. I haven't even added any horsepower to this car, and the car was just freaking on one last weekend. Because when we did the one rip in the morning, I was like, "Whoa! I guess we're not touching anything on our car." It worked. So. Yeah, and it goes to show I've always had the rear motor stuff down. Without tooting my own horn, I like to stay humble, but I think I'm one of the first people, if not the first person, to really, really figure them out. Case in point, the Patriot we got on a trade. I changed a bunch of stuff, did a bunch of work, basically tore the whole car apart. When I got it the night after, which was a Saturday of the Friday that I got it, and we took it out Sunday. And it worked and was winning races. We built a roller for a guy not too long ago, about a month ago, and sent it out to Florida, and he brought it out for his first race. And with the tune I gave him for the ESC and the car just like he got it out of the box, boom, he's winning races. Emma's car is the same. We threw it together with some parts I bought from Jake's and some parts that were donated, and I just know what recipe to put together in the car and where to adjust stuff for at least a starting point, and it's usually 90% right there. This is a fast race car right here. I can't wait until she gets just a little bit better, and I can actually start putting some 80 and 90,000 RPM motors in it. Because I have some that'll just knock your socks off, but she's just not quite there. But she's doing very well even with the Fleta in there. So let's.
I don't know if Jake sells a standoff separately, does he?
I don't know. I'm sure if you wanted to purchase them. I don't know. I don't know if he's ordering them in a certain amounts or if he's ordering them as
I've
like
always
a bucket.
just bought a new bar, so.
Yeah. And you guys, what I say is that, if you can't, you can't, okay? But if you can and you have a couple extra bucks, when you do figure out whether it's a JPH bar or somebody else's bar, when you figure out the bar you want to do, always buy minimally the bar you're running on the car in a complete form, and then at least the backup plates or another set of wheelie bars, just at least the plates, if not, let alone a whole other wheelie bar. You will break a side. And once that, you get that car tuned in, and a lot of this stuff is relying off of that wheelie bar, and all of a sudden it's broken, you don't have a side plate to replace it, chances are you might not be very favorable to make it through to the next round. So it's always something to think about. So let's get over, we're going to need the whole freaking table. Can you put these 2 screws back in that one slot? We're going to talk about a gentleman who's the father of one of the gentlemen that's on my race team with Shark, Cody Offenbacher. And we're going to talk about his dad. And that is Mr. Roy Offenbacher. And the reason why Roy comes up in topic tonight, I don't even know where to put anything, dude. We just got no room in here. Everything's in boxes. Is for the simple fact that we can ditch, if you want to set all this stuff behind you. Is that the one I took off? Yeah, I can feel it. It's fluid.
Bear with me, people.
This stuff and this stuff. Good?
Yep.
Wow, that looks like crap.
Well, I'll reach.
And just this stuff too. Just set it all up there by the wheel spacer. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the part up, and you can show it to the camera, and I'll be getting another one because we have a whole table worth of stuff. Now I reached out to get a couple things from Roy at Papa Bear 3D, and he sent me. He said, "Well, and I said, I really like what I'm ordering, but I'd like to promote for you if I like what I see." And he said, "Man, that would be great." And I, what do you need to do that? And I said, "Well, minimally, I need some color pictures of all the things that you are making in house and what the prices are and stuff like that." And he sent me what I'm about to show you, which totally is better than the actual pictures of parts because they're the actual parts. Now, when I did this, I had in mind that maybe he had 10 or 15 products that he was making. I didn't know it was like this. So we're gonna start off here. Double check. That is the bad one, right? Because that's the bad one. Just throw it away. Just get it out of here.
Yep.
I reached out, and the first thing I wanted one of these little setup plate parts, or the tombstones, I like to call them. We'll call them the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandment kit. So for $40, Roy Offenbacher at Papa Bear 3D offers this in a bunch of different colors. I think you can make just about any popular color out there. And this is how it comes in the full kit. Basically what this is going to do, again, I think I mentioned it before, is you notice the 12mm hex. I'm going to bolt these on my car. And when I have these on my car, it is going to be on a flat surface. It's going to be much, much, much more accurate to take fine measurements of where my alignment and stuff is in my car. And that's why we're going to use these. So I wanted these to just be, a little bit more precise with, because these are, there's full setup tables and stuff like that are $300 and $400 from Hoodie, 8 scale ones, and those are nice and stuff like that. But I needed to do some basic on the fly stuff at a track or whatever. I bring my slab with me, and it's a nice flat surface to throw these on the cars. throughout the day, and just just to make sure that the alignments are still on and stuff. So go over to Papa Bear 3D, get you some of these. These are going to be again, it's one of those things where a little bit here and a little bit there, and those two things over there, it equals 1/10 of a second. Well, if you do that enough, you can, next thing you know, you're shaving 3/10, 4/10 of a second, and this is one of those ways to make your car more accurate. So get over to Papa Bear 3D, contact at Facebook, and contact Roy Offenbacher. And we got some other stuff here. We got, so these are kind of hard. I don't know if these are going to be hard to see. But he's got 3 different blowers here. So some of the guys like to scale stuff. For you guys that don't just do drag racing and you do like maybe scale drift stuff or scale crawling stuff, you're going to love what I have to show you. So for the drag racers, I got more drag race stuff in there too, but some of the stuff that popped out to me was the different blowers. You got kind of the 671 blower with the Mad Max scoop, and then you have the solid like Summit scoop with the three butterflies in it, and it's based off like a 671 wind. And then you have like the big top fuel intake manifold and the big supercharger with the big
you pull one of them out?
4-stack butterfly, huh?
Pop one of them out of there.
Okay. Over there, baby, in the junk drawer. There's a bunch of them there. I was just in there this morning. Are you all good? You get in there? Yeah. Okay. So, look at this thing. This thing's just a Goliath. And I think he has it pre-drilled out. And these are all hollow, so you could actually put
wires,
a piece of wire through, and little red butterflies if you were to get really into scale and stuff. Yeah. So these are pretty cool. What these are going to do is these are just going to this blower is going to sit on the hood of this thing, and then you got, let's say you're running a turbo car, right? And you want some bull horns. Look at these bull horns, are badass. You got these bull horns right here, which are just freaking awesome.
Back here.
Yeah. So lots of cool products from Papa Bear 3D. Now here's some little stuff, some other things that I thought were pretty cool. Here's a complete set of open-end wrenches. Okay, for your scale. You guys,
that's crazy.
I'm telling you right now, call a buddy on the phone, get him on the line. Bill Shaw down at Desert Hobbies. Check this stuff out that I'm about to show you, because I know you got a lot of crawler guys down there. This guy's, I've never seen a company that like Roy, where he's got so much to offer. So, what are these? Are these Christmas trees?
Are those that hang for your mirror?
Yeah.
Little fresheners,
like the little air fresheners. Pretty cool.
Pine scent.
Let me put all these back in the bag here.
That's crazy.
I don't want to go through it. We got like 100 bags to go through.
What you need to do is just dump the whole thing on the table.
So then we have show them the
Will they fit inside the setup, the parts bin?
I want to keep this stuff separate from the other stuff. These are $10, and this is actually, it's got some weight to it, so it won't slide around. You can probably put a little foam tape on the back, which is probably what I'm going to do with mine here. And this is really good for, when you're changing your motor out, drop your motor screws in, put your pinion in it, or you're rebuilding shocks, and you need a place to dump all your new O-rings out and sort them out and stuff. So like, this is just a really cool little on-the-go, travel size parts divider. So these are really cool. I like these a lot. Let's stitch this body, the beat body. So I think, like you said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump this out, and then we'll talk about it, and after we're done talking about it, it'll all go back in the box. I think that's just the easiest way to do it. So he has got stuff. First, I want to start out by showing everybody this one I'm excited about. Behold the 3D printed 2021 Camaro.
Yeah.
No, this is a dumpster though. I thought this was awesome. I was like, I saw this and I was like, is that a dumpster?
And then the doors do not open.
Yeah, the doors don't open on that one. Okay, we got a lot of stuff to go through. Okay, so if you're running a mono wheelie bar, okay, and you're like, man, what's that little piece at the end of the thing that holds the wheel together? Well, you can get one at Papa Bear 3D. This is the piece that will bolt to the flat. Oh, I got one here. This is the only car I got with a flat one, and the reason why I got a flat one on here is because it's a sand car. So what you would do is you would bolt this piece onto the end of that, and then your wheel would be in it. So this is the actual bracket that you would use for drag racing.
Nice.
Which is good to know, because I could put that on this and put some slicks in this and go out and... Oh, the body doesn't cover the tires.
Open class.
So yeah, Papa Bear 3D, these are $7, guys. $7. Go over to Papa Bear 3D if you're running a mono bar. Get one of these, get 2 of them, one for backup. Although I don't think you're breaking that thing, dude. So...
Pretty strong.
Yeah. Okay.
What else we got here, Dan?
Here's some sweet jack stands. Make these in any of this stuff, you guys. He makes it in like an array of colors. I mean, anybody who knows this 3D printing stuff, you can see all the colors here. These are the colors he makes them in. So we got the aqua blue jack stands. Papa Bear 3D.
Let me see.
Here's now a lot of this stuff, you guys, is going to be for like the scale garage guys, like the drift guys and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of scale garages pop up, and I've never seen some of this stuff. What do you got there?
DR10 center tray.
Yeah, so we got DR10. He's one of the companies that's making the DR10 electronics tray and the Slash one. So if you have a Slash-based car, you can pick up one of these LCG center trays that hold all your electronics and stuff on them. And same for the DR10. So you got a DR10 shelf that holds your speed control and your receiver and whatever you want to do with it. So just give you a little extra.
Daddy, try to find the tiny remotes.
I will. We'll get to them. So these are a great product. If you're looking for more ideas for electronic placement and footprint inside your vehicle and you have a DR10 or LCG, here's some, these are the car ramps, which are really nice. They look just like real ones. We got an Igloo here. Igloo's $8. It's like the one you dump on the coach at the end of the game. This one and this one I want to show off together. Now this was kind of cool because I was like, okay, now you're going a little far, show off to Roy. But this is a caution when wet fold-out sign and a mop bucket with an actual mop in it. And I thought this stuff was just too cool for school.
Oh, wait, there's something else to go.
There's more drag racing stuff in here. Here's he's got the top-mounted turbos and air cleaners.
He's got a shitter that goes along with that mop bucket and stuff.
Yeah, there you go. You got a whole bathroom there. So, I believe these are, some of these, I'm not into crawlers and stuff, guys. So some of these I'm not, I know these are truck stands. I believe these are for crawlers to hold them by the solid axles.
Oh.
Which are nice. You got, here's an oil drum. And I'm sure, you could probably make that in like Chevron blue or whatever. This is just a large garbage can. Oh, no kidding. It's even got the flippy door in it.
Oh, it does really?
What?
Yeah. So, we got a I know it's a Lincoln welder because I'm a welder, and a red welder means Lincoln. And that's what it is, a Lincoln welder. So for the back of your crawler rig or whatever.
Buzz box.
Totally, the old buzz box. Here's another LCG chassis mount in black. I'm stoked about these. These are pretty cool. These are the Recaro buckets. Probably make these in black, and you can hand pen in like red stitching or whatever. And I mean, they're really, really, really cool seats. So.
I got a custom race. Those will look good.
Oh, okay. These are sand ramps. Oh, so these are like if you have like a crawler and it like makes a hole in the ground from spinning the tire. I think you could put this. I don't know what you would. I don't know what.
Yeah,
a
it goes
sand ramp
under.
is.
It goes under the tire,
right?
so you can get out of.
Jack it up with the high lift, throw this under it, and boom, you're where you go. So
drive over it.
The table that we're on right now, you got your standard plastic 6 foot. Well, this one, you guys, is not 6 foot, so don't call Papa Bear and pay him $10 for a table, and then when you get this in the mail, be what the heck? I thought this was 6 feet long.
Actual size.
Yeah, this is actual size. Okay.
Actual size.
Here's a crate, like a milk crate or a soda crate or whatever.
Let me see the soda crate.
There you go. Where's the other battery?
Need a little dirt bag to put on.
Here's an A-frame ladder. And all this stuff works. It all folds out and is all hinged together. And
I'm gonna make a whole box.
here's a fire extinguisher.
I'm gonna make a whole
Here
box.
is an oil catch for your scale shop. Here is your little plastic tub for oil. Like I have a couple of them over there. We got the toolbox. We got a little handheld toolbox. May look good on your scale workbench. Here's an anvil for your scale garage bench or your crawler's bumper. You could, like a welding rig with a Lincoln welder and stuff. That'd be cool. This is a GNSS holder. So if you guys are looking for the GNS holders, Papa Bear 3D sells them. He's got I think 2, maybe 3 different kinds. But this is a GNSS actual holder that the actual unit will fit in. So you can get them at Papa Bear. This goes with this. So here is the awesomely, I think probably if I was building something, I'd probably want one in red, not orange, because they're usually red and black. But these are $8. I mean, for $8, you got a whole high lift jack, and then for number 5, you got the mount to mount it on the hood of the truck or whatever, which is kind of cool.
What's a high lift jack?
So this thing in real life, baby, would be about 4 feet tall, and you would hold it underneath the truck and jack it up, and it would lift your It
could jack that tall.
It's a jack
From low
that
to
will lift really, really high
Do you use
instead
it at
of.
work?
Huh?
Do you use it at your work?
No, I don't get stuff stuck at work, but I've used them in fun play though before. So what else we got? Here is a variety of just garage accessories. It looks like we have a little Makita cordless drill in here, and a gas tank and a big oil jug. Here's a first aid kit that you usually find in shops. It's mounted on the wall. We got a radiator. So a big 4-core radiator for your crawler or whatever you want to put a radiator in. We have the drill press. The drill press I'm stoked about. These are $10 and it's a scale drill press that'll sit on your little workbench. Some of this stuff's just bitching. So this is some assembly required wheelbarrow. It's a whole wheelbarrow.
Do you have to put it together?
Yes, you do. Probably take about 10 seconds. These are $10. What do we got here? We got an air tank. So sometimes when you want to go out and just fill one tire up, it works. Sometimes I won't take the big old compressor. I'll take just a tank and I'll fill it at the shop and then go out and it'll hold the air and I can air a tire up. So, you see these laying around shops. This is an MSD ignition box. These are $3 for a scale ignition box. This is a chainsaw. Probably the chainsaw in the back of like a scale pickup or something. You'd probably want to paint it, orange with a silver, but he has one. This is one of his keychains. Papa Bear 3D.
Was that printed?
Yeah, everything here is 3D printed. These are the 4-hole exhaust. So if you want something like the bullhorns, but a little bit different, a little bit more low profile, you got these guys. You can double-sided tape to your body or whatever. This one's sick. This is the $10 fuel cell. So
I like that one.
Yeah, this one's badass. The fuel cell.
Good receiver box.
Here is a Craftsman shop vac, which is kind of cool. It's got the tube on it and everything. Looks just like a real one.
Is the tube 3D printed?
No, the tube is not. No. She's smart, dude. Here's an air compressor that looks just like my real air compressor over there. We have an ice machine. Ice machine, if you need an ice machine for your scale shop. This is a 3D printed snorkel. So your windshield would be here. This is the snorkel. We have, these look really killer too in person. These are windshield wipers.
Don't break them.
No, yeah, they are thin. But yeah, to give you your windshield that scale look. And he's also got a rear view mirror around here somewhere I've seen. This is something else for drag racers. This is the or anybody, if you want to put this on the lower quarter panel of your Chevy, crawler or whatever, or Ford crawler, or these are just dual exhaust outlets. We got the jerry can or the old fuel, the old style fuel, metal fuel cans. This one is not metal; it is 3D printed.
Yeah, that's a lot.
We have the Yeti cooler. It says Papa Bear 3D in the side, which is pretty bitchin'. It will keep one grape cold for a week. No, these are not real Yeti coolers, but it's pretty cool. Put in the back of your truck or whatever. We got just your normal 5-gallon bucket. Just a 5-gallon bucket. And this is a floor jack. So this is like a big heavy duty 5-ton floor jack with the handle and everything. We got the this is pretty cool. This is the washer fluid bottle. And this is the coolant reservoir. So you can actually do I don't have it. I have a full 3D printed Coyote engine, and with all this stuff around it, it would look really cool. And then they got the here's the brake booster, the Hydro Boost brake booster and master cylinder. So with with a couple little things like this, you can take just an engine bay of a crawler and make it look really scale. Here's a star wrench or lug wrench, whatever you want to call it. These are cool. These are scale remotes. These are little tiny transmitters for the size of a Barbie hand.
That's crazy.
That's cool, huh? We got binoculars. Set of binoculars. Here's a hatchet.
Oh, that's so cool.
Or an axe. This is another welder. Oh, this is like a miller. Yeah, like a synchro-wave miller. So obviously you could take this one step further and make a little tiny, welding stinger for it in the ground and stuff, and really make the flatbed of a crawler look really scale, This is the rear view mirror that comes with the little tiny standoff, and it's got the little stand. I don't know if you can see it, the little standoff in there and the mirror. Propane bottle, and then batteries. He's got your old faithful green top Interstate and the Optima single-eyes gel cell battery. And that's pretty much all I got here. It's a lot of product. But yeah, I really like some of the stuff. He's just going that much further, for the scale stuff. Maybe someday I'll make a little scale garage or something. They're kind of cool, take some pictures in and let other
A lot of
guys...
that stuff you can use to customize your crawlers.
Oh, I even got something else.
He's got so much stuff there.
This is a windshield wiper motor that would go on your firewall.
Huh.
Which is pretty cool. I don't think I dropped anything else. But I got a lot of stuff here, guys. If you're into crawlers, if you're into scale stuff, if you're doing... I know that the scale stuff really transfers not only from crawlers, but over to the drifters. So if you're doing drifting and you want some of the, the stuff to make your engine bay or whatever part of the car look really, really real, there's a lot of good products here. There's a lot of cool stuff for drag racers and some setup stuff. And you're starting to get into some of the tooling, some of the stuff you can use at the track. I just think it's just a really good product, and I like the fact that I'm able to do some promoting for him. So for all your 3D printed needs, maybe, I don't know, I have to talk to him. Maybe there's something you want to build and nobody's, you don't have a 3D printer or whatever.
Somebody said a porta potty.
Or a big old porta potty. I don't know, but get a hold of Roy. Roy's really got 3D printing down. I tried to do one thing and I melted it on my 3D printer. So, for this guy just to be cranking stuff out like this, he's got, I don't know, 6 or 8 of these 3D printers going 24 hours a day. It's just crazy. So, get over to Papa Bear 3D. Get all your scale accessories. Get a set of these. If you're a newbie and you're getting into the sport, this is a cheap $40 to be able to put these on instead of your wheels and set it on your dining room, table or whatever, where it's a nice flat surface, and really, really be able to adjust your toe and your camber and be precise with it. Is there any other questions out there?
No, not that I can see.
And there was a pug, a white pug.
There was. Roy, I gave the little doggy that you gave me when I first got this shipment to Emma. She wouldn't get off me about it, so I said, okay, take the. Was it a pug or was it a pit?
I think it's a pit. I don't know.
Not a pit bull. It's a
Pug.
American bulldog.
I'm not
American
sure.
bulldog. It's either that or a pug. I don't know.
Tell us. I don't know.
I think it's a bulldog though. So, yeah, really cool stuff. Really excited to see. And Roy's also the stuff's made 100% right here in America. He's making it right in one of the rooms of his home. And he's a great guy. They're a great family, and I'm really proud to help them out in any way I can and promote these products because I believe in them. And I don't promote products or take a sponsor that I don't believe in their products. So, yeah. As far as the show goes, if you guys have some questions about Papa 3D, you can contact me. I'll answer any questions as well as I can. You can get a hold of for any of these products of Roy Offenbacher. I don't want to. I've known the guys for a year now, and I still don't know what their last name is. Should I ask Cody?
Offenbacher.
I think it's Offenbacher. Yeah.
Yeah.
But get a hold, go right here, just like this, Papa Bear 3D. Type that into Facebook search engine, and it will bring you right to his site. And you can write him a message for any questions you might have for the 3D printing. Yeah, I'm hoping that us doing some continuous promoting for him can help him move some products. Because I think some of this stuff is really cool stuff. Well, all of it's really cool stuff.
Yep.
God, now I got to build a scale garage. Thanks, Roy.
I want two for my Barbie.
So yeah, really cool product, really cool guy, and I'm really proud that we're gonna start doing some promoting for him. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. I want to give a huge shout out to Jake at Jake's Performance Hobbies. You can reach him Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 5 p.m. at 707-586-3375 in Rohnert Park, California, and he does ship. He's got all your RC needs. He's got all your drag racing stuff. Just about anything you could need, from a Torment to a losi car to a crawler or a traxxas car or an airplane or a helicopter or whatever you want. He can get it or he's got it. So I've been going to Jake's since I was a little boy, before it was Jake's in the late 80s. It's been about 30 years now. I've been a loyal customer, and there's a reason for it, because they're good people and it's good quality service. So I want to give a huge shout out to Paul Peterson of Shark RC Bodies. I want to give a huge shout out to Dave Enstrom and Chris Vieira of DE Racing Tires, and Steve Villanueva of R1 Works Products. What do we got here? You're very welcome, Roy. We're going to be, this isn't the only time we're going to be pushing Papa Bear. I like his stuff. We're going to keep it around for a long time. Okay, so I don't know. He does other stuff too, like dragons and characters, light up globes with your family's picture. He can do just about anything. So like I said, guys, Roy has really got this 3D stuff figured out. So, if you have any 3D printed dreams or anything like that, or you just want to, talk to the guy about his products or whatever.
Dreams?
Yeah. If there's something you've been dreaming up and you think that somebody can 3D print it, I bet you Roy's the guy. So I'd like to see if anybody knows anybody, including Billy Shaw. I'll be reaching out to Bill Shaw of Desert Hobbies down in Arizona. I think that they're a huge crawler set of guys down there. And I think a lot of them would have they'd love the accessibility to some of these scale products. If I was really into crawlers, I'd want batteries and gear shifts and stuff like that too. So I want to give a huge shout out to Milo Carvalho at Flash Packs. Great guy. He's they sell catbacks and glitch busters. Always love to give a shout out to him. Not currently sponsored by Flash Packs anymore, but I believe in his product, and I love giving shouts out to Milo. He makes a great product. Just everybody in the RC community. God bless America. Be patient with your suppliers and your shipping people right now, guys. Nobody can get anything. It's not just your bearings or your this or your that. It's everything. I mean, I can't get parts for Fords and Chevys and Dodges at work. I can't get, everything's out right now. So I think what happened is for the first 10 months or so of the election infection, that we were getting the last year of stuff that was made at these companies. And now it has, slowly kept going, and now we're in that bubble where everybody shut down and nothing was being made, and that's why it's so hard to get stuff. That's my personal opinion. And we'll get back out of it. We're all struggling through it. We're all having trouble, whether you're trying to get plastic or you're trying to get this done or you're trying to order these, and they're saying, it's not going to be until June. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it, guys. We're just along for the ride. So be patient with your hobby shops and your suppliers and stuff like that. I'll say it again, God bless America, and God bless each and every one of you that follows me, and Rich, as always, for being a good buddy and helping me out get this done.
Oh, you're welcome.
Get these videos out to you guys. It means a lot to me, and I like to help the little guy. And like I said, there's a lot of wave of new guys coming in. So if you're new, get over to Funky Monkey Judd on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. You'll be able to have full access to all the videos that we've made since we've transferred back over to Judd's RC Motorsports. I answer a lot of questions on YouTube. I didn't know until I had this YouTube page that there's a lot of people messaging and asking questions on YouTube. So I take the phone calls, I take the messenger, I take the news feed, I take the Judd's RC Motorsports, I take the YouTube now, and I'm constantly answering questions, and that's what we're here for. We're here to help the new guys. So remember, guys, today's newbies and kids are tomorrow's racers. So don't deter people. When they ask you, why does a remote control car motor have 3 wires? He didn't know. Just explain it to him. Don't be like, whatever, bro. I mean, that's going to deter people and kids and newbies getting into the sport. And I remember, years and years and years and years ago where the first time I saw a brushless motor and I didn't know I had 3 wires, so, or whatever it might be, whatever the question might be. So, I think that's all we got for you for episode 13, guys. So, I don't know if I'm going to be moving this week and we're skipping next weekend or what. Like I said, I'm chomping at the bit to get on to some of this new stuff I got coming out from some of the companies I represent. So even if I'm doing it on the front lawn, if I get something in the mail and it needs to be released, we're releasing that sucker. So we'll just have to play it by ear for future shows. But for the first time, finally, the show, we will not be in here anymore. We will be in a studio with lighting. It's not going to be like a studio with egg crate and everything. And, it's my new studio. Right now, this is my studio. It's a little tiny shop, So the new studio will be a lot nicer.
No desert hobbies.
No desert hobbies.
It's not going to be a desert hobby.
It's not going to be desert hobby. Yeah, Billy's got it hooked up down there. I at least got to get a hold of him and ask him what kind of stuff they're using, because I want to get into a little bit of it.
Those guys got it going. They got a good gig going.
He's definitely got some products in there that have made it really, really professional, and I want to do that too. I don't want to just show people and explain what I'm doing anymore.
Big old giveaway today, right?
I think so. Yeah. I want to continue to explain and show and always innovate and show new products and try and be at the leading edge of this industry and bring all this to you guys. But I want to do it in a more professional format and setting. That is what has been the goal. And I thought I was going to get the house before last, 6 months ago, and it just didn't happen. And that's why we started the shows and continued them in the old locker room here. Was just because I had to get the shows back out there. So thanks for following, guys. Thanks for supporting us on the page, Judd's RC Motorsports, and have a kick-ass weekend, and we'll be talking to you soon.
You bet. And Roy, say congrats to Cody, if he's not on here. I didn't see him on here, for the Reef sponsorship. He just got sponsored by Reef.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you got that.
Congratulations. Yeah, I'm Cody's team manager for Shark, and I'm very, very proud of the young man, and Josh, and just everybody. My Shark team is just awesome. I got such a good Shark, and you, Rich, and I just got such a good Shark team. It's just a real honor to be at the ship's helm of this battalion of racers, and those guys definitely being some of the ones that really stand out to me. So have a great weekend, guys, and we're out.
Peace out.
Peace out.